What up, gents? Welcome to the Simsational Gent. I'm your host, Sean C. And is it true that parents just don't understand? We're going to review a viral video of a stepdad who tells his stepson that he needs to move out or contribute to the household. We're going to look at an article describing the stats of young people still living at home. We're going to open up the line for you to come on and voice your opinion on this. We're going to bring up the question today, and I'm going to give you my closing thoughts. Now, I asked you in a recent poll, what did you want to see on this channel? And about 60% of you guys said keep doing what you're doing, and then you want to see more specific topics that affect men and women today. The other 40% said they wanted to see more travel videos of daily living and nightlife where I'm at. Also with the live stream and the shorts being reserved for adult topics. And let me be the first to say that I hear exactly what y'all saying, and I will do a little of it all to keep everybody happy. But ultimately, I'm going to keep going with what I'm doing. And let me tell you exactly why, right? I came across some videos recently that I just felt like I had to address. And listen, at the end of the day, it is some real disgusting videos that I saw, and I think it's stuff that good men need to be aware of and things that we got to discuss. Now, I thought about Kevin Samuels when I saw these videos and how his channel started out. He didn't have the best traction in the beginning, but his channel grew. And I remember when I quit doing what I was doing before, my channel lost traction. Matter of fact, I wasn't getting barely any views at all when I changed the channel, trying to shy away from what I was doing, right? Now, I also have one more video that I'm going to create from Cancun that I'm working on. It'll either be on Friday or it'll start on Monday. But after that, I will have more daily living and nightlife videos coming from my new location that I hope you will enjoy, and I hope it serves to inspire you. Now, however, I have to keep speaking on these issues, and I will be expanding the topics that I'm covering, not just dating relationship issues, but all things that are going to further serve to make us work on ourselves, our purpose, and our individual journeys so we can live our best life. Now, I got to throw this plug in real quick, just so y'all know. I am affiliated with Surfshark. It's the best VPN on the market. Now, if you click on the link down in the description of the video and sign up with Surfshark, if you use the code GENT, G-E-N-T, you'll get 83% off your subscription, plus you're going to get 3 months for free. If you want more privacy and more security and the ability to be able to see your favorite shows while you're in another country, then you need a great VPN. You need Surfshark, okay? So proud to be associated with that. All right. I want to go to my next section. I can't do this show, I can't do this channel without you guys. So I always acknowledge everyone who comes into the chat and leaves a respectful comment, because I am grateful for you guys for being here. So let's go to the comments real quick and see what we got in here. Make sure you let yourself be known so you can get your shout out here. We got my boy, Jock Wilkins. Make sure you go check out Jock's channel. Go check out his website, Young and Grown. He got some great merch. He got music. He got all kinds of stuff there. Plus his videos, the travel videos that are fire. You think some of the ones I put out are fire? Then you want to check out the ones that Jock got on here. Now, Jock says, been waiting on this. We lit. That's right, brother. We up in the house tonight. Also, we got John from Nashville, Tennessee. Make sure you go check out John and his channel, Hams Flight Kickbox. What up, bro? What up to you too, man? So thank you for being here. And we got my boy Lucis in the house, who actually has been one of my faithful subscribers, always contributing. His comments are very, very engaging toward the chats and conversations that we're having. And Lucy came on last week and kept it good, man. So thank you for being here. I hope this topic tonight, though, is something that, we got to discuss. We got to talk about this. Because this video that went viral. Some of you guys may or may not have seen the video I'm gonna bring up today, but I want to discuss it here on this channel, and I want to see what the gents have to say about it. Now, tonight's beverage, because y'all always know that I roll with the beverage. This is vodka, cran apple with topped with cranberry juice. So I'm getting old, so that extra apple will give a little burn to my chest. So I hope you guys can hear me okay. Give me a 1 down in the chat if you guys can hear me okay. Sounds a little different. I have a fan going next to me. It is very hot here. I was actually going to put on some different attire, but it is too hot not to be in a tank top right now. So I got the fan going. I got the cattail on the microphone because I want to make sure that the wind isn't blowing across there. And for you guys who are tuning in as a pre-recorded video, for you guys tuning in, make sure you comment down below on the question of the day. Let me know what you think about the topic. Also, consider subscribing to the channel where we talk about engaging, entertaining topics that will affect your life and hopefully inspire you to live your best life. Hit that bell icon notification, that's the subscribe button, so you don't miss any future videos here on TSG. And for you guys that are watching right now, make sure you hit that like button so other people can see the videos, find the videos, and be also involved with the channel so we can grow this thing. All right? So, all right, John says, hey, I hear you. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. Lucis with the $5 super chat says, tonight, he is on that vino. You know what, man? It's funny when it came to wine, right? I was never a wine person. It hits me kind of quick, you know what I mean? I pride myself on being one of the people that kind of handle my alcohol. So the thing is, I had this point in time when I was starting to rebuild of myself and who I am, that I wanted to have what I consider wine and cheese nights, right? So I would make myself a spread, and it's not like I had anybody over, but I would have these big old spreads with cheese and crackers and cucumbers and tomatoes, all kinds of stuff, and, you know, dressings. And here's the thing, I would sit there and drink wine, and I would eat that whole spread by myself. So those were good times. And I dropped off the wine, Lucis, because what had happened with the wine is one of those things that as you build up a tolerance of people on, I can see all these wine moms go from 1 glass to a glass and a half, 3 glasses to a bottle and a half, 2 bottles. Oh, wait, am I talking about me? I think I was talking about me. My bad. So, I totally understand that. Thank you, Lucis, again. Lucis always supports the channel. If you guys want to contribute to the show, please leave the chat. Everything that I've been getting has been going back into the channel so we can make this thing better. All right? So, listen. I remember Will Smith putting out this song, and I think those of us who heard it probably felt the same way. Parents just don't understand. Now, we sort of forgot that our parents were kids once, and we went through our own share of problems that we relate to, right? That we can't even relate to what our parents went through. And if your parents are in their 60s and their 70s right now, if you're still fortunate enough to have them, and God bless you guys who may or may not have them, then you know that our parents were from a different time and they had to survive different hardships than we did. Now, I think that is why Gen X and elder millennials are the best of both worlds. We have our old school values, yet we can still operate the technology that a lot of the younger generations dealt with from their time. Basically, the younger generation has dealt with this technology since they were born. And that allows us to be able to relate to the kids' day, right? Unlike our parents, but we are starting to get further away from understanding these young people today as we get older, right? We start to become our parents, right? So young people today, I don't feel like they understand that the plight that we've gone through and the plight that we go through. And really, in some respects, we don't. We don't understand. They don't think that we understand, but in some respects, we don't. Right? right? Let's keep it a buck, right? And we'll talk about that more in a moment, right? However, as all parents who love and care about their kids come to realize, is that we're only trying to put them in a position to be successful in life and be good people. I always say to my kids that my job as a parent is to make sure that your life turns out better than mine, right? I was successful if I made sure that your life turns out better than mine. I'm not saying that my kids have to do exactly what I did and actually have to do the exact same thing that I did to get to where I'm at, but I want to know that they are the best person that they can be, and hopefully they can learn from my mistakes, and hopefully they're better for it. And my job and what I'm doing right now is trying to leave something behind for them so that they feel like, so that that's it, right? You leave a little bit more to each generation. And hopefully my kids take what I leave them behind one day and they leave just a little bit more to the next generation. And they teach their kids the same thing, right? That's how you grow generational wealth, right? Now, I think this younger generation is generally a bunch of good kids, right? There's some stats that I saw once where, they're actually having less relations than Gen X and the millennials. All right, this new generation ain't really getting it in like we think. Even though you see some of this generation flaunting out there, they're, showing off the goods, seem like they're just giving up to everybody. And the case is they're actually having less relations than we get, right? So this younger generation is also more inclusive. They have lofty goals. In some ways, they're more intelligent than we are. They think outside of the matrix, and in some cases, they're less likely to do what society tells them to do. All right, they operate a little bit outside the box of certain things that they do. Where we see young people failing is that they are inclusive, but they are more swayed by their feelings. They have lofty goals, but they aren't setting realistic goals on their way to success. They are smarter about a lot of things, but they won't even use Google to look up simple things. They think outside of the matrix, but they won't take advice from people who have lived longer than them and have survived more things. They are rebels against what society tells them, but they are quickly swayed by a meme or social media or what their friends say. Now listen, again, I see a very smart generation of young people, and it's like they all want to be rich and successful. Everybody has this capitalistic mindset of success, all right? However, and I'm sure some of you feel this way, they aren't willing to put in the hard work required. Some are, but I see from my vantage point, the ones who are getting it. But then you have this subset of young people who they're lazy. I mean, they're just lazy, okay? And we're going to talk about that later. They want success right now, but they don't realize that instant success is not a normal thing. They don't realize that instant success is not necessarily a good thing. Some successes take time. The best successes, in my opinion, take time because I'm old enough to look back, and a lot of you guys that watch the channel are old enough to look back and see the fruits of your hard work and how much more you appreciate what you went through because now you appreciate where you're at. Are you satisfied where you're at? No, but you appreciate the hard work it took you to get to where you're at, right? We all must be willing to put in the effort that goes along with success. Now, young people see so many people looking successful, and they want to experience that too. They see their favorite artists, influencers, and think, I want to be like that. I can do what they're doing. And I don't see the hard, and they don't see the hard work behind the success that their favorite artists and influencers do. They don't see all the work that it takes, the behind the scenes. People don't see those behind the scenes until they start making documentaries and stuff like that, right? So let's not take blame away from parents nowadays, right? The title of this is parents don't understand. But it could be parents just don't understand, so they're trying to be friends with their kids. You got modern women who out here trying to compete with young adult children for likes and for attention. You got parents who let their kids and their children dress provocatively like they're adults. We have parents that are not teaching their kids great values. There are parents that are teaching their kids the same toxic values that they've been taught when they were kids. So young people, I get it. If you are a young person and you watching this today, you may feel like, why should I listen to a parent if I don't respect them or if they can't teach me anything? And to me, that's a very foolish and immature way to think. Life is one big lesson. Life is funny that it'll give you the test before it teaches you the lesson. It is the village, let me rephrase it, even the village idiot. Sorry, a person can learn as much from the village idiot as much as they learn from the king. So having respect for your elders, young people, ain't a bad thing. Now, they may not have passed the test, but damn it, people that have gone through it, that have lived life, that have survived a whole bunch of things, they've at least seen some of the tests before. And let me tell you, it is a blessing to be an older person, because I can tell you for a fact that when you get to my age and some of the age of people, or some of you that are watching, you see a lot of people just go away. They aren't here anymore. They don't get to breathe another day. The older people are gone, and there are some young people who are gone too. Yeah, don't get it twisted. There are people that I know that were older than me when I was coming up, and they are gone now. And they were gone when they were young. So it is a lesson to get to where we are at age. So do not cover your ears. Listen, because you can learn from everyone. And if you're lucky enough, if you're blessed enough, if you're fortunate enough, you may find yourself old. And you may find that you're going through some of the same grief as your parents are today. Let me get to the chat real quick and see what's going on. Lucy says millennials, Gen Zs are entitled. They are. And it's because we're in this situation where everything is about, what can you do for me now? What have you done for me lately? Instant success. All right? We got Lucy from Brick Girls Go Stateside. Thank you, Lucy, for being here. Make sure you guys go check out Brick Girls Go Stateside. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel, and I promise you, you will have a lovely experience on the channel. Their channel has grown and blown up because it is such a well-produced, organized, ran channel, and it is because of them. Partly because of them, there's a lot of other people too, but because of them, they rolled me from the beginning, stuck with me through the ups and downs. Thank you for being here, Lucy. Thank you for the support. Lucy says, millennials, Gen Z are entitled. They collectively want the results, resources without the work and effort to succeed. And Lucy, man, I see the same thing. I had the same issue with one of my kids. I had the same. I heard the same thing from my mom. I told you guys on the channel before. My little sister is probably one of the smartest people I know. Right? I grew up. I was a smart kid too, but she puts me out the water. Right? And my mom, as an older parent, right? I mean, my sister is younger than my kids. And so my sister, she is doing things that promote her, but my mom needs certain things for her to do too. And it's just not happening. My mom tells me all the time, I don't remember all this, but she said, you don't even realize that you just did things. Did I have to tell you some things sometimes here and there? Yeah, my mom had to tell me some things. I was a teenage boy. She was growing up. She was raising a young man. But I cleaned up behind myself. I was able to cook from an early age. I was a latchkey kid. There was a lot of things that I was able to do that I feel young people today aren't doing. You know, and we're going to see in the video that I'm going to play here soon that you're going to see it on full display. I can't wait to go through this. We're gonna stop at certain points because, Gent, I want to hear from you on this. We're gonna go through. We're gonna hear this stuff, and I want to hear from you guys. I'll get to that in a second. Lucy says, "Thank you for the lovely shout out as always." Thank you, Lucy. What you sipping on tonight? What y'all sipping on tonight over there? It's hot over here too. So, like, part of me wish I was living in the north. I mean, the southwest, because even with the dry heat, I wasn't sweating. Now I'm like a creature on Sunday. Well, I stay here at the Sensational Gent. We gonna break it down for you today. I got a word for you now. You gonna listen. I said you gonna listen. You don't understand. I'm gonna bring it to you today. But I wanna hear from you. Make sure you hit that like button so other people can find the channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe. I say make sure you hit that subscribe and bell icon notification next to the subscribe button so other people, so you can know when a new video's coming out. Oh, cheers to you, man. Cheers to the Gents. Gents, give me 1 second. I gotta go ahead and grab another beverage. I had one in the freezer. Also, let me grab a water because it is hot in here. And I am not about to take off all my clothes to you guys, all right? But bad jokes. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. It's been a long day. Okay? So we got that. Let me get back up on here with you guys, okay? So listen, I got a video that I want to show you guys, right? So I'm about to show you a video clip that went viral. You guys may or may not see a number of channels putting this out, but I want to go through with you guys today. And it's a stepdad telling the stepson, also having a conversation with his wife, that the stepson needs to work and contribute around the house or to move out. And what you're going to see is a man trying to hold this young man accountable, but the mom is siding with the son over her husband. All right, let's cue this one up, you guys, because I want to hear what the gents have to say on this one. So bear with me, you guys. Oh, and just for the sake of argument, we already went through that breakdown, okay? We went through that breakdown to bring up the video for you guys, all right? I don't know if y'all can see that, but okay, make sure, okay. So make sure everything's in place. Let me know if y'all can still hear me in the chat real quick so I can just make sure everything is good. I don't know if y'all see that overlay. I created that today for you guys. It's gonna be the new template for when I play vertical videos. I always like having some arts and crafts. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat. You put a 1. Okay, all good. Let's get started.
He coming in right now.
I let him know what's
and then when he ain't going nowhere. That's my son. That's my only son.
At some point, he got to go.
Never no time.
I mean, at some point, he
never no time.
Man,
never no time.
Are you charging him? Well, tell him, Christian.
No, you tell him. Well, you talking about you grown and you gotta go somewhere. I told him you only son. You ain't going no damn way. You go when you get ready.
Man, I just feel at some point you need to make your own way. That's what I be want to walk through the house naked sometime, and there you go. So I mean, what?
All right, gents. Now, this stepdad tells The stepdad tells his son that he thinks that at some point he needs to make his own way. Now, I agree with that. Kids got to learn, young adults have to learn to make their own way. Because at some point, your parents aren't going to be here. Not everybody is fortunate enough to have parents that can help them out. Not everybody is fortunate enough to have enough money in the family to be helped out. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It was good when Big Mama had her house. You know, when people was in need, everybody would go over to Big Mama house. People would stay with her and stuff like that. In this case, it was actually my mom. My mom was the person that my grandma came to when she stayed with us. My aunts, when they needed a place to stay. It was also the place where even my great grandma stayed for a while when she was getting long in the tooth, as they say. All right, but young people need to go out and do their own thing. It's called being an adult. Now the other thing is, this mom says that she feels he should go when he's ready to go. So right here you have a woman that is hurting the development of a young man. Women, if you are listening, you can do more damage to a young man by baiting him. Listen, this life is cruel, and men have it really bad because, see, people will put up a woman and her child because people have compassion and don't want to see a woman be out on the street. But when you're a man, there's an expiration date on it. There's a time limit on it. See, you can go and like, hey man, hold me up for a little bit. Yeah, I got you, bro. But then men in people's house become like fish. They start to smell after a while. So people don't want to have a grown man up in the house because they're wondering what you working on, what you doing, right? So a lot of women are hurting these young men today. They are hurting the development, hurting their ability to be men. Now, this young man is lucky to even have another male figure in the house. Regardless how you respect him or not, there's another male figure in his house, and he is not telling this young man wrong. She is going against the authority of the man in the house. Now, let me be clear on something. Some of you women don't hear what I say and be like, well, why can't the woman, why can't they listen to her authority? Because there are some things that women cannot teach a man. There are some things that women cannot teach a man. Lucius, I'm going to get to that. I'm not done my points, bro. But I hear what you're saying. We're going to get to that. That is definitely something that I'm going to discuss. Trust me. All right? I'll get to your comment, though. I'll put it up in a second. Actually, let me put it up now. Lucius says, I disagree a wee bit. Kids need to be taught, raised by reliable adults. This 29-year-old is a big baby due to his disrespectful mother. Yeah. That's absolutely correct. And again, Lucius, I actually am going to bring it up. I didn't bring it up now. Some of the points that we're going to make is going to come up because I'm bringing that up in other sections of the video. Okay? Because there's a lot more to this video. This is a good 3-4 minute video. Okay? We have a lot to go through, so I will address that. Let me bring this up. Mr. Michi Wanda says, hey, Sean and chat. Thank you, Wanda, for being here. Make sure you go check out Mr. Michi Tribe. Go over to Wanda's channel. Check out her channel. Now, this is Wanda. Let me put her back up on the screen. Wanda has the epitome of the family that we should strive to have, where she has boys that she is taking care of, and she is teaching them responsibility. She is teaching them accountability. She is holding their feet to the fire, and her husband are leading them by example. And so, Lucius, I totally agree. It does have a lot to do with the family and the parents and how they are bringing up kids. Again, you have to watch the video. I am going to bring this up here in a little bit. There's so much more to this video. We'll talk about each of those points that you guys are bringing up. Wanda says, I wholeheartedly agree. There are quite a few things that we women cannot teach men. And listen, it takes a village to raise a child. That's the way in the Black community, African community, it used to be an old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Some of you guys came up just like I did, where if you got in trouble and the neighbor down the street saw it, you got in trouble all the way until you went home. I'm going to tell your mama what you did. Be like, well, she know already. Be like, don't worry, I'm going to still tell her. It takes a village to raise a child. So you saw my video from about a week ago. You guys saw me put in that clip from 1986, the second generation of modern women. And the modern women had said that a man isn't necessary in the household. I beg to differ. I beg to differ because the statistics say that children that do not grow up with the influence of two parents are more likely to have trouble in school, are more likely to have trouble in adolescence, are more likely to be trouble in adulthood. These are facts. One of the worst things you can do, ladies, is undermine the man in the household. This is a young man that has a grown-ass man that is there in the household. When you cut that man's legs from underneath him, you are telling that young man that it is okay to disrespect his elders. You are telling him it is okay to disrespect authority. And you wonder why some of these kids get chopped down in the street. I'm not going to go into opening that can of worms, but sometimes you just shut your damn mouth and live to fight another day. Let us carry on with the next video, with the rest of the video. I got to plug my headphones in, sorry, y'all. But you guys make some great points. We're going to go to the next part of the video.
You know.
No, if anything, you can go, not him. How about that?
I want to pay all the fucking bills in here. How the f you gonna tell me where I need to go?
But the thing is, like, why do I gotta, this is my mama's house, like, why do I gotta leave my mama house?
Period.
Man, you damn near 40 years old. Damn near it's time to go. I mean, at what point?
I'm 29, I'm not.
Well, that's.
Did y'all just hear that? This young man just said he is 29 years old, staying with his mama. 29 years old, staying with his mama. Before I go into this next portion, you got Tory Shepard Sr. First of all, who that, bro? He says, Sean C., what it do, big bro? Hey, nothing much, fam, nothing much. He says, good evening, all. Tory, thank you for being here, brother. This brother right here, put it back up on the screen. Tory right here is from that Nolan Nation. Nolan, Louisiana, New Orleans. New Orleans, you heard me? We big Who Dat Saints fans. And this dude came over and checked me out, another one of the followers of the Gent, another one of the Gents. I thank you for being here. Who Dat, my brother? We talking about some issues with our young people today. And I got to put that up on the screen. Who Dat fam 100. And I see the Florida leads. I love it. All right. So she tells her husband that he could leave before the child. And let me make something clear. This young man is 29 years old. Now the way he's talking, he has never been required to leave his mama's house. There was nowhere in this video that I could hear or find, and let me know if I'm wrong, but there is nowhere in this video do you hear this young man say, well, hey, I left this house before, I came back because I just needed a little help, get back on my feet, this, that, and the third. If you go back to your mama house, or your daddy house, or your grandma house, or your people house, because you went out on your own, and you had to come back and get your bearings. I mean, damn it, y'all. I sold everything I got to be where I'm at. And guess what I did? I had to go sleep in my mom's house. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But I'm going to tell you exactly how I felt about it. Let me get back to the point. She told her husband that he could leave before her child. Now, am I saying that this woman should have loyalty to her kid? I am not saying that. I want to be clear about something. My mom, how would I feel? I ain't gonna say my mama's boy, but I'm a mama's boy, okay? She the one that raised me. And if some man was up in her house and told me I couldn't come there, I'd feel some type of way about it. But can I get mad at my woman's husband if I had been in my mama's house for 29 years and never took the chance, never took the attempt, never took the opportunity to go out and be a man on my own? This woman just usurped the authority of that husband, of that man, basically emasculated her husband in front of her son. You have literally taught your son to disrespect authority, to disrespect elders. And you wonder why our kids get mowed down in the street. We wonder why they get into fights, because they all in their emotions. They are all in their feelings, because they're emotional like their mom. Sometimes you need to see that stoicism from dad so that you can keep calm and collected. That is another reason why men are important to the household, so nobody don't knock your head off. Now, paying bills and taking care of the man portion of the household chores isn't enough, gents. It isn't enough. You could be paying bills and taking care of it. Back in the day, that was acceptable. Now, you expected to go above and beyond. It's not enough just to be able to pay bills and take care of part of the household. Men that I know nowadays could cook better than women. Men I know nowadays could do things culinary wise that some of the women they can't do. And that's not enough. If you can't keep these modern women icy, if you can't keep these women with the newest bag, you can't keep them looking good in front of their friends, then you ain't a real man. I don't know what you are, but you ain't a real man. That's what they'll have you believe. The other thing that was said in here, I want y'all to remember. She said it's her house. Now, if you don't have your own, gentlemen, you will not get respect of your woman. Is that in all cases? No. But of the modern women today, if you ain't got your own, they're gonna look at you like you crazy. Like, what are you gonna bring to me? What do you bring to the table? If you can't give me all this stuff, it ain't even enough to be a man that's taking care of the household. But if you can't keep a woman icy, and you don't have your own in that way, they're not going to respect you that way neither. And even if she respects you initially, if she finds any displeasure in you, she's gonna throw it right back in your face at some point. Let me go ahead and get to these chats. Tori says facts, Sean C. It's right, man. I wanted y'all to see this, and I want to hear what y'all got to say about it. Wanda says a friend of mine just put her hubby out because her grown-ass 35-year-old son didn't want him there anymore. What? I got a question, Wanda. Give me a second. Let me finish out the comment. He around there running the house without a pot or a window. She brought that old state, a pot or a window, a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Man, now Wanda, let me ask you a question. Wanda. Did you just say that a friend of yours threw her hubby out because her 35, am I reading? Let me put my glasses on so I can read this correctly. Because let me put my reading glasses on, people. A friend of mine just put her hubby out because her grown ass son, 35, good Lord, didn't want him there anymore. Her hubby, her 35-year-old son, put out her husband. You know, I can't remember. Y'all let me know in the chat who said this. Maybe it was one of the Pink Box. Shout out to Pink. What's it called? Pink Box Diaries or whatever. I think she said it on her channel. But some of these women nowadays, some of these modern women are pretty much married to their sons. Did y'all hear that before? Married to their sons more than they are dedicated to their own husbands. And then they wonder when they get old why they ain't got no man. Why they ain't got no man. John says, this is why we have so many simps. Absolutely. This man is, and listen, let me be clear about something. This man is telling this woman, his woman, he's saying to her all the right stuff. Hey, this dude needs to get out and do his own thing. But look how he got it, look how he's telling him. Let me back out of this real quick, gents. Let me back out of this real quick. Let me take this overlay off. Let me take that overlay off. I literally just closed up the video.
We coming in right now.
There we go. Let me set everything back straight again. Oh, that's not right. I messed everything up, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Right there. That's where we at. Okay. So I closed everything up. Sorry about that. Okay. Let me get back to the comments here. So John says that's why we got so many simps. If you go ahead and you listen the way he's saying it, and he's speaking truth, but you can tell there's a man that's being beat down by his woman. I want y'all to pay attention to his mannerisms, right? His mannerisms are like, you know, I'm just saying, you know, like, hey, it is what it is, you know, like, you know, hey, you need to go and get out, you need to go and get a job. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, he's standing up for himself, but there's an air of timidness. You can tell that he wears no part of the pants in that family. Am I saying that he has to completely be wearing the pants in the family? Am I trying to take it back to some old school stuff? Some way, yeah. Because first of all, your hardcore feminists even wind up with masculine men. Be a man. Okay? Women respect you when you are a man. A fair man, but a man. Right? I don't know too many women that like to be able to just push their men around unless they themselves are damaged. Women that like to push around their men are scared to let their men lead. That is to me, it is a sign of psychological damage and trauma from the past. A lot of women today can't get in their femininity because of that, right? But this man is timid. His wife wears wearing breeches, okay? Right? The pantalones, okay? As they say, the pantalones, all right? hey, I got you. You're going to be able to come in, Lucy. Just hang in there, baby. Hang in there. Let's get through the video. Let's get through some more of the video. Let me get through the video. I got this whole thing sectioned out, baby. I got this whole thing sectioned out. Keep your point, though. Keep your point. We're going to talk about it in detail, all right? And also, when we get to part 4, Lucis, that's part 4, right? Let me show you. When I get to this part here, the discussion, the link is up in the top, and then I'll drop it in the chat one more time, right? So let's get back to the video. Bear with me for a second, people. I gotta go ahead and get all this. I'm a one-man show. I'll be honest, I don't know how Kevin Samuels did all that stuff with that equipment. He was operating and switching cameras. To me, he was fidgeting too much, but he was doing something right. The dude had 1.3, 1.5 million viewers. I don't know if I got it like that, but whatever. We'll see. All right, let's bring this back up. All right. So All right, so listen, let me make sure I made. So the young man, one of the last things that why isn't? Oh, I didn't share the screen. Sorry, hold up. There we go. So one of the last things I want to say is, young man is 29 years old. He still lives at home with his mama. It doesn't sound like he ever left the house, right? Not the way he's talking. And listen, a man that has had his own and earned it shouldn't be talking the way this young man is talking. And like I told y'all before, I told y'all I was gonna bring this back up. But here I was, I sold all my stuff before I started traveling, right? I stayed by my mom's house. And I was only there for a little time. And it felt great to be back. I hadn't seen my mom in years because of the pandemic. But it felt off to me as a grown man because I've been on my own for so long that it felt weird to be in my mom's house for as long as I was. I was in my mom's house for 3 weeks. And I felt off. I felt like I needed my own spot. And that's the way we all felt, especially us that's older. We all felt that way, like, man, I gotta get up this house. These young kids today don't feel like they gotta go nowhere. But anyway, let's move on. Because again, I wanna get y'all up in there. If y'all wanna come on camera tonight, I wanna bring y'all on so we can have a discussion. All right, let's get on with this video.
When I met you, you was living with your mama.
Man, please, I was in and out. Come
You was
on,
living
man.
with your mama.
I
Now you
was
gonna
only
tell
22
me.
years old.
Now you gonna tell me because he 29.
I ain't getting up. I'm not getting up. I'm
Man,
not
he
going
has
nowhere.
to go.
I'm not going nowhere.
He
It's
has
my
to
mama
go.
house.
Well,
Then you ain't gotta go
You
nowhere.
know what, damn it, I ain't gonna pay no bills either then, damn it. Now,
Let me stop there right there. Now something that you heard this woman do is this woman attempted again to emasculate her dude again, her husband. And she used what Kevin Samuels said. Shout out to Kevin Samuels, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels for coming up with this acronym. But she used sign language, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. It's what a lot of modern women use. Will shame a man. The worst part is she shamed a man in front of her son. Pull your husband to the side and say, let's talk about this. Now I get it, her son is grown. But in that situation, it is wrong. It is wrong. You are hurting your son. Wanda says women will never respect a man who doesn't stand up for himself. We view man as a protector in every sense of the word. Thank you, Wanda, for saying that. Wanda also says that's exactly why a lot of women say they chose to date studs. They say studs are more manly than a lot of brothers. Sad but true. Right. And John talked about it earlier. We got a lot of simps running around. But here's the thing. Part of the reason why we got simps running around is because the women are teaching their young dudes to be simps. You emasculating your man in front of your son, and then you wonder why your son becomes a simp later. Help me, somebody. Okay? The son is doubling down on not going nowhere. The mom is telling him that he don't have to go nowhere. What the husband is telling him isn't wrong. He's been there 29 years, he needs to go. Being 22 in your parents' house is not ideal, but you can understand that. That's still college age. But being 29 years old and you ain't never left the nest, there's something seriously wrong, in my opinion. Okay? We're going to get on to the next part of this video because we want to keep this moving. Let me get my headphones back in because I am interested in what you guys got to say about this. All right?
how you feel about that? You don't want him to go, I won't pay the bill.
But he continue to pay
he
the
got
bill.
to go, though, man. It's too much. See, we arguing and stuff about stuff.
But at the end of the day, all y'all do is tell me to help. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Like,
man, you grown ass man. You supposed to know man, garbage overfill. You supposed to know to take that outside. Come on, man. I don't have to tell you all this stuff, man.
The thing is, I'm barely here, so I'm barely making garbage. So if I got to the garbage shop, I'm barely here. If I'm barely here, barely making garbage, barely making dishes, like, why I gotta do anything?
She gonna always make excuses.
Why I got to do anything?
He don't even be here. So what is you talking about? He don't be here like that.
He live there.
He sleeps and then he on business the rest of the day.
When he's here,
Ooh. Ooh. Man, I know y'all got stuff to say about this one. Let me tell you something. This is the laziness of this young generation. Things that were expected of us to do, these kids are waiting to be told to do them. If you live in a place, you take care of the place that you live. This logic that I barely be here, that I barely make garbage, is how these young people think. They don't realize that it's a community effort to maintain a household. If you live in that house, you take care of that house. Right? Yes, you clean up behind yourself, but you have also responsibilities to that house. Wanda says she's the problem. She's an enabler. Absolutely. Let me go back. Give me a second. Lucis said something earlier, and I said I was going to address it. Lucis told me earlier that I disagree a wee bit. Kids need to be taught and raised to be reliable adults. And Lucis, I told you I was going to come back to it, bro. Don't jump ahead on me too much, okay? I got you, brother. All right? Because that's the next point I was going to make. I blame that on parenting. That's right, you heard me. If young people are given chores as a kid, Wanda, you do a great job of this with your young boys. If kids or young people are given chores as a kid and held their feet to the fire to doing these chores, they have some sense of cleaning, right? They have some sense of purpose. They have some sense of direction. In some cases, not all. Then these are things that young people will go on to continue to do. Maybe they won't do them in your household, but eventually they'll look back and say, you know what? I got to keep this place neat. Or maybe once they get around their messy friends, they'll understand what you was trying to impart on them. All right? But it's got to be taught. It's got to be taught. Now, I don't know when this is a stepdad, so he ain't been there from the beginning. So what was the mom teaching the son? Wanda said it earlier. The problem is her, she's an enabler. So here it is, you've been enabling your kid from a young person, from a young man. You have these these modern women teaching their daughters. They're not even teaching them to know how to cook. You're not teaching them how to clean. Because I don't want you to feel like, you got to do that to take care of some man. What about teaching your daughter to clean and cook because it's how to take care of herself, her children when she has children's? What about that? What about being able to cook more than a microwave meal? What about being able to have the ability to cook a Thanksgiving dinner for your family? I've done it many a time. I blame this on parenting. Now you have a man up in your house, a man. I don't know how long that dude was a husband. I'm thinking his husband wasn't around that long because the way he talking to him, it ain't like somebody. That young man ain't talking to this man like it was his stepdad or somebody that was there while he was up in his teenage years. He talking to him like he's some ninja and came up in here while he was an adult. Tell me if I'm wrong in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you think this husband came around later. Because I think he came around later. Wanda says, yep, 100%. Tori says, real talk. Let me know in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you think this dude came afterwards. Because this 29-year-old dude ain't talking like this dude been there and helped raise him. Now, I got a 29-year-old. Oh, he older than that. My stepson is 30, I ain't gonna tell you, he's 30-something. My stepson is 30-something. And that dude still talks to me with reverence and respect. He still talks, thank you, Tori. He still talks to me with reverence and respect, even though we are close in age. But I was a young man and he was a boy. And he talks to me different than this young man talks to this dude. This dude about our age. Oh my God, John, that's gotta be one of the quotes of the night. Execute Order 66. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. I wish I had, hey John, I wish I had that little soundbite. Execute Order 66. Look, if y'all give me more time, I'm gonna have sound bites on this channel too. Maybe not as professional as Kevin, but I'm gonna put clips on you. Execute Order 66. If y'all don't know what that is for y'all that don't know anything about Star Wars. That's when the Emperor Palpatine put in Order 66, and all those stormtroopers you seen, they turned on the Jedi and eliminated them. So you know how the stormtroopers used to be good guys, and when in Order 66, them clones were all programmed to turn and kill all the Jedi. Order 66 by Kevin Samuels' measure was when women single-handedly hit the Execute Order 66 and took out all manhood, who stopped allowing men to be men in the house. All masculinity has been shot down. Femininity has been non-existent. Execute Order 66. I've been watching, there's been a lot of Star Wars stuff, especially since May on in my feed there, John. It's crazy. Let's get back to this, because I want to get y'all in there. Where we at on time? Wow, we packed a lot in the first hour. There is a lot that we went through in this first hour, and I promise you, gents, we got a lot more, because I want to hear from you guys. Okay, let's get back to the video. Where we at? Where we at? Okay. Let me make sure everything in place. Let's do it.
He need to help out. He need to do some things. He
Well,
need
I
to be
tell you what,
productive.
he ain't paying no bills,
damn it,
and
he
he
gonna
ain't
start
gotta go.
paying some bills around
I ain't paying.
But
I gotta pay.
I'd rather want to
My
get the
mama-
fuck out.
But listen, my mama said I gotta pay no bills. I ain't paying no bills.
You gotta pay.
My mama, if my mama say I ain't gotta pay no bills, then I ain't gonna pay no bills. You heard this dude? Sound like a big ass simp. What y'all said there? Didn't y'all say that earlier? John, I know you said it. Wanda, you talked about it. She's an enabler. She just turned herself into a simp. She been turning into a simp. Right? Again, if my mama said I have to do something, I have to do it. If I ain't gonna do it. We used to respect the words of the men who were around us. If you grew up and you didn't have a man around you, I am sorry. I didn't. But the men who were around me, each one of them, I took something from. See, the part of the men that I got was that I had the men that were there. The little bit they told me, right? I took everything from every man that was in my life, whether they've been a school teacher, uncles, cousins, right? Hey, let me holler at you, young buck. Come here real quick. Even the older gentlemen that would call me over to the stoop. Let me tell you something. How you doing in school? I'm doing okay. How your grades is? I got A's and B's. Oh, you got A's and B's. Oh, that's good. You go on and keep doing that, because you don't want to be out here on these streets. I took something from every man in my life. Even my stepfather, who had issues, who wasn't a perfect man. But there were times that he showed me things. And he wasn't a perfect man. He's a flawed man. I probably learned some of my flaws from him. I'll say it that way. I'll leave it there. But I learned from him. I saw that this man was a businessman. I saw that he could fix things. He was a handyman. I saw he was a pimp. I probably learned some bad traits from him from that. Okay. Wanda says, dumb as hell. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So listen, we like the modern women like to say there are no men around, ain't no good men around. Right? But there are a lot of men, especially black men, who step up to be stepdads more than any other demographic. Black men are more stepdads than any other demographic. However, there ain't no good men around. We don't, today, modern women don't allow these stepdads to be dads. They try to step in there, God bless them. And then what happens? This happens. The mom sides with the kids over her own husband. This woman was lucky enough not only to have a stepdad, but to have a husband. And look how she talked to him. Look how she talked to him. Now let me tell you something. Women are so important to this equation. You're not going to hear a lot of men's channels say this, but women are so important to this equation because women are the community, are the community and the family builders. Okay, women are more community minded. They are the builders of the family. If women aren't willing to show deference to the input and authority of the men that are there, or that men need to have in the family dynamic, then there's no wonder that we see in the Black community that we have trouble. It's no wonder that little Timmy wants to go take out schools and supermarkets with innocent people. It's no wonder. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that. But when men are, they got men in the house that's simps, and then little Timmy want to go shoot up stuff. Your son is out there simping because you won't let that man be the man. Come on, somebody. Let's finish this video out. Let's finish this video out so I can get here to part 4. Okay? I'm going to let the video play out. Where we at? Okay.
What I want him to do is save his money and do what he needs to do with his money.
You know the reason why
and not pay no bill.
Because all this soft you bring it to him, he still got the titty in the mouth. You let all that stuff go on.
No, you know what I know? You jealous. You jealous of my.
There goes sign language.
You jealous of my son.
Only you would say some bull
But I
crap.
don't know if you jealous or not, but I just know I ain't getting in my mama's house. Like, if I gotta get my mama's house, you gotta put me in my mama's house at the end of the day.
Well, damn it, I'm gonna be carrying you.
So you got to go.
Oh, you don't mean you want to carry him out then if that's the
No
case.
problem carrying them out. I shoot them on out. And you,
Michael, now you know good and damn well I'm not kicking my son out.
what do you expect?
At the end of the day, I ain't worried about it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm here. I live here, so until I'm ready to get out, I'm gonna be here. So, it don't
At
matter.
what point is you trying to? What's your plans for this man?
What's your plan for this man? This man gonna be my husband when I kick you out. This man gonna be my husband when I kick you out the house. Cause he the one gonna love me unconditionally. He the one gonna treat me, he my real husband. Hey man, this is disgusting. You sit there, modern women, and you baby your goddamn sons, you have no goddamn plan. At least this dude was saying, hey man, get out the house, learn to be a man. I'm sorry I stopped the video. Let me get back there, Jesus. I know we got stuff to talk about. Let me get back to this video. Ooh, man, my blood pressure.
My plan is to stay in here as long as I need to stay in here. That's my
And
plan.
what if he 45, 50?
And he gonna be 45, 50 up in here.
Crazy as hell. Well, damn it, I'm gonna be out there.
Bye.
No,
Bye.
He's going
Get
to
the
go me.
stepping. Get the stepping. Because
Wow. Get to stepping. You leave, my son ain't going nowhere. I'm saying, hey man, go out there and do something. Help around this house. And you about to put me out? I'm paying bills, your son not. Oh my God. And John says, son, husband. Yeah, it's sad, John. Sorry, I stopped the video, y'all. I'm sorry, but God damn, man. If that don't have y'all in your feelings right now, I don't know what to tell you.
he ain't going nowhere.
That's what's
My only son, shit.
You the one made him like this because your dad,
You know
you
what?
made him.
Come and go. Your son is forever. You better go.
I see what I'm saying. That's
Right. And like I said,
you made him this way. You made him
no,
this
I
way.
ain't make him
This
this
is
way.
a product of your
I ain't making this way.
This
Like
is a
I
product
said,
of
it ain't
your
like
bad
he don't.
decision, your bad choice.
It ain't like he don't know how to get out here. Like I said, when he ready to go, he can go.
Your bad decision. I wanted to pause right there. Wait. Listen what you said, bro. Nope. He the son side man. Yo. Let me say this. Let me finish saying this, and we're gonna get to one last thing, and then we'll get to the discussion. Okay? Now she says she wants him to save his money. Now, what grown-ass adult gets to have a free ride to save money? And let me say something. If you get an opportunity to have a free ride while saving your money, God bless you. But most of us have to still pay bills while we setting a little money and our nickels to the side until we get to where we got to be at. These kids have little responsibility, right? I say have them save their money while they're working hard. Because at least if they're working hard while they're saving their cash, then at least it's building character along the way. These kids are saving money, quote unquote, right? But guess what? Then they got a new PS5, right? They saving money, but they putting hours into playing video games. But they can't take out the trash. The kid can't take out the trash, but these same kids be the ones on video games for hours. I love my cousin to death, and I hope you watch it. But, you know, he working. But guess what? He got his mom as a shield. So guess what? He get to play video games for hours. Now, if he out there working and doing what he got to do, and he playing his video games on the side, good for him. At least he's not getting in no trouble. But at some point, you got to be a man, because if not, it'll catch up with you. Now, the stepdad says it right. She's holding her son back. She is. You see that finger pointing? Let me see that right there? That little, where my cursor is? Says that she is holding her son back. What good is saving if he doesn't have the valuable life skills necessary to be the man that he needs to be? Also notice that she goes back to trying to shame her husband in front of her son. Women nowadays continue to shame men. Shame, guilt. Shame, insult, guilt, and need to be right. Modern women. Kevin Samuels had it absolutely, positively correct. Okay? Now listen, before we get into the live discussion, I know Lucy, she was ready to get on, bro. Give me one moment, man. I gotta bring up this article real quick, okay? I got an article to bring up. I just want to show y'all. We ain't gotta be on the article long. I gotta show y'all the article, okay? So here's the article. Adults are living with their parents at unprecedented levels as crushing debt, a runaway housing market in the pandemic make independence impossible. Okay? Make sure y'all guys go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't hit that like button, do me a favor and hit that like button so we can get more people in on this. Now listen, I'm gonna just hit the high points of this video. Of this article. Okay? So it says a massive amount of young people move back in with their parents due to pandemic-related struggles. And it says a trend that is here to stay. Now, this was before the trend of young people were still staying with their parents, but the pandemic did not help it. A record number of Americans are back living with their parents as the share of the U.S. population living in multi-generational households hit 18% last year, according to Pew Research. Pew Research, right? They do a lot of good surveys. The survey, which collected interviews with over 1,500 Americans of different ages and income levels last October, found that the number of multi-generational homes in the U.S. has quadrupled since 1970, a rate of growth far higher than that of other typical households. Also, this generation is the first generation this newest generation is the first generation that is making less than the previous generation. Now notice, it says that the number of multi-generational homes in the U.S. has quadrupled since the 1970s. When? 1970s. What happened in the 1970s? Oh, you started seeing the feminist movement start to come about. You started seeing the values of a two-parent household decline. You started to see the rise in divorces. All of this correlates. You guys can say us men, oh, you guys just hate women. The stats tell you right there. One second, somebody tried to call me. The stats tell you since the 1970s, it's right in front of our faces what happened. Younger millennials are by far most likely to be living in a multi-generational household. Nearly 1/3 of Americans aged 25 to 29 do so, with the vast majority living with their parents. The most common factor behind people's decision to move in or continue living with relatives well into adulthood was money. Finances were the main reason to live with families for 40% of respondents, followed by caregiving communities to older relatives. Over half of younger people with lower incomes cited finances as the biggest factor in their decision. And you know what? Instead of going to get a better job, working hard, I had 2 jobs. I had 2 jobs while I was in the military, just to try to make a better way for myself. I had my daughter tell me, like, what else do you get a second job? Yeah, hell yeah, get a second job. Stop being lazy. Oh, I gotta get a second job. Because you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do to get to where you want to be. And that's a fact. Now let's look at this real quick. I don't want to stay on this too long. Okay? In the first year of the pandemic, more than half of Americans under 29 were living with their parents. Half. That is a large number. Now, this is the first time that this has happened since the data on the topic became first available in the 1940s. The first time. Okay? I'm going to read on. The earliest stages of the pandemic and the economic downturn hit millennials and older Gen Zers hard as college campuses across the country shut down and job losses hit record highs. Okay? These trends carried on into 2021, especially for younger Americans, as 58% of adults younger than 24 were still living with their parents. 58% of adults younger than 24 were still living with their parents. The pandemic factor and multi-generational housing boom may be beginning to wane as restrictions are lifted, the economy rebounds. Right? Now, see, they say right now that the housing market is too much. They say jobs are back, but these kids don't want to work multiple jobs. They get with a job and they're too good for it, so they quit. And I get it, young people have options. But some of these young kids get sick, they had all that time off, and now they just don't want to work. They said the trend has been compounded by the debt crisis, the student debt crisis among younger Americans. 60% of whom say that their student loan debt is the biggest factor in delaying their decision to buy a home. So I get that. You can't buy a home because of student debt. I got it. Rent is almost, my bad. Rent is terrible. Okay? So let me get back. So let me get back to you guys. All right? So listen. Let me get back to these comments. So listen, I realize there's a lot of things that made it where young people had to move back home. There are a lot of situations, scenarios that young people need help. But young people, if you're gonna move back in with your parents, at least be respectful. Help out around that house. Pay some bills. Take out some trash. Cook a little dinner. Yeah, you may not be home all the time, and you may not contribute to some of that stuff, but you live there, right? Life don't give us a free ride, and you guys want a free ride. I gotta tell y'all this. My daughter said, well, you make a lot of money, Dad, so why can't I just follow my TikTok dreams? You got a lot of money, Dad. Y'all, I got a lot of money. I'm okay. I'm not where I should be or where I could be. Right? I needed her help. When I lived where I lived at, the reason why I went to where I was at was to put us in a place that she felt safer. And I said, hey, we can move here, but I need you to start working. And this is how much I expect you to contribute. No, wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough to have to kick her out the house. Now, of course, I'm smart. I wasn't going to get a place and not be able to afford it on my own, right? Which is something I told my kids. Never move into a place with a roommate unless you can carry that place by yourself. Because if they renege, you out on the street. I taught my kids that. So, let me know what y'all think. Y'all quiet in there. Hit that like button. Subscribe to that channel if you're new. Man, it's hot as hell here. Goddamn devil was sitting on the couch behind. That's why I was worried back there. Okay? So listen. We just went over a video of this young man, of a young man whose mom has enabled him. We've gone over that video where this modern woman, because I consider her that or her attitude, has emasculated, used sign language on her husband. Shame, insult, guilt, and need to be right. Put that above the man of the household. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And you wonder, modern women, you wonder, echo. I don't know why there's an echo. So, and you guys wonder why, as modern women, that you end up alone. You wonder why your husbands can't stay there or your boyfriends don't want to stay around you. The energy that she's displayed in that video, she was loud, she was unruly. This was a serious conversation that her and her husband should have had alone. And they should have sat down and united front. When I was a chief in the military, we didn't like everything that the captain and the officers told us. But at the end of the day, when we walked out of that chief's quarters, we were united front. Because if the men that work with you see you fighting, why would they listen to what you tell them? Let me give a shout out right now to T-Mac. Thank you for being here, brother. Thank you. Good to see you. T-Mac is one of the loyal followers here at the channel. And we're about to open this thing up for discussion. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop this link down in here. Hold on real quick. I'm managing so many things at one time. We're gonna get to the comments. I'm gonna drop this down in the link. So if you wanna come on, there's the link to be able to come on the show. Tell me what you think about the video. I want to talk about that. I want to know what your thoughts are on that. The statistic, I just showed y'all an article where the statistics say that if you're 24 or younger, 58% of them live with their parents or in a multi-generational household. All right? Okay. We're going to bring Lucis on here in a second. Good to see you, brother. Give me a moment. So we come into part 4 of the conversation. Part 4 is the discussions where I have you guys on, where you guys tell me what you think about the topic, where I get to hear from you, I get to interact with you guys in real time. And today, you know, we had a doozy of a subject. You know, we got to talk about this because these young people are the future leaders. The future, they're age not having families. What are they going to teach their kids? I don't know. We'll see. Let me get my headphones in there. Let me get my headphones up in there. I'm about to bring my boy Lucis on. About to add him to the stream. Hold on, brother. Hold on. I think I can hear you now.
Can you?
Yep, I got you.
All right.
Let's see if we can.
Good evening, all.
What up, Lucis, man? Thank
I'm
you
not
for being on the show. Let me get your initial thoughts on what you just saw.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna unpack it for you on the video as well as that article that you expressed. I don't think we really paid attention as closely as we could have to that video. So I'm gonna tell y'all something that's probably gonna surprise y'all, but here's the facts of that. That stepfather had been around that boy, I said boy, I'm sorry, 29-year-old big baby, since he was 7 years old.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because you got to figure it out. She said she started, Lucretia is her name.
Okay, yeah.
Lucretia said she started dating Michael when he was 22.
Oh.
Her son is 29. That means she was a baby mama when she started dating Michael, right?
Yeah.
Not only that, you got to factor in something. So Michael was a young dude. Clearly, he said he was in and out of his mama house, but needless to say, he was not on his own. He wasn't a grown man himself. So that tells you Lucretia found herself a young sucker. He didn't know. I'm saying a young sucker in not disrespectfully, meaning he didn't know what he was signing up for. He didn't know. So you got to think about that. That means he was a young dude. She older than him. She has a house already. He leaves his mama house, moves in with Lucretia, and took over paying all the bills. So that means he grew, he was a part of why the 29-year-old is a big baby, because just like Mrs. Amici said, the mother was enabling this. And women want a protector. They want a man that stands up for himself. That man never stood up for himself. That is years of that son seeing his mama rule the house, obviously with an iron fist. Because notice, even when he said, well, I ain't gonna pay no bills, I'm not gonna do this and that, and she was like, go ahead and leave. And notice what he said. When she said, go on and leave, he said, I ain't leaving, he gonna leave. He was steadfast and still trying to say the 29-year-old gotta leave when the 29-year-old plus his mother said, I'm not going nowhere. Instead of him manning up and saying, you know what, y'all can have each other. I'm tired, I don't want to do this no more, I'm leaving. He didn't do that. What he literally did was, I ain't going nowhere. He gonna go somewhere.
Yep.
How you gonna make that happen, Michael? How you gonna make that happen? When the son openly just telling you, I ain't gotta do nothing. This is my mama house. This is my mama house.
No. You're right about it. Let me read this real quick. So T-Mac with the $10 super chat. Got the bros up here. Thank you, T-Mac, for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that so much. And listen, we do got the bros up in here. I want to comment real quick on what you said, Lucy. Because in one instance, right? So you brought up some good points. You brought up some things that I didn't even pay attention when I was looking at that, right? Because I had to go through this and I was picking apart just the general stuff. But you actually went into the meat, okay? And the meat that you went into was now you have a man, the husband, who is there in that household, who himself may have been raised by a single mother, right? And never established himself as the man figure in that household. And I'm getting all this from everything you said, now that I'm hearing it coming back. You also have this man now who he's paying bills, but if he could leave, he would be able to go. But financially, that means he is not in a position to just be able to up and go on his own. And there are a lot of men who are shacked up with women. You're talking about what they call them homosexuals. Could be paying bills in the house, but they're not making enough to be able to say, hey, I'm out of here. See, he relented, as you stated, when she was like, if anything, you can go. He's like, I can go, he can go. Right. So it just tells me that this is a cycle. This is a cycle that we see in the community.
But like we said, she got him when he was 22.
Yeah.
That means Michael never stood on his own feet. He never stood on his own feet. He went from his mama house to his single mother wife house.
Yeah.
She had the house. And this is also what's funny in that video. She said, she said, I want him to be able to save his money. Okay? But did we ever pay attention to the fact that he said, I'm hardly here. I just come here to sleep. So does anybody believe he saves money, or is he running the streets and he just got a place to lay his head and get a free meal?
And that's what I talked about. That's what I was talking about, because he's hardly there. But those young people be like, oh, I'm by my friends playing video games, or I'm out in the street. Even if he's not running the street, but I know what I was doing at his age. But if he running, he by his friends playing video games, he's not doing what he needs to be doing. There's no saving money there.
I don't know. See, because my thing is if he can't take out the trash, what kind of job does he have? Like, you have to have some initiative to be able to do anything. And the fact is the way he's talking like a dude that, like Mike said, he's still on his mama's breast. And the thing is that's true. He sounded like it. Did anybody hear a 29-year-old man? You know what I heard? I heard a 10-year-old. He talked like a 10-year-old. His mannerism, look at how he's just like kind of just standing there all nervous like in the kitchen while they're having this conversation. A conversation like, I agree with you, a conversation he shouldn't have been a part of, because really what the conversation should have really been is, hey, Lucretia, I want to walk around the house naked. I want to be a full-grown man in the home that I pay the bills in.
Absolutely.
He got to go because he's 29. At one point, he needs to fly the coop. And the thing is that we're starting to understand something, because you brought up this thing. You brought up the comment about sign language and Kevin Samuels. The thing that's so funny about that is this is the situations when you realize Lucretia don't love you, Mike. She don't love you. You are just a resource. She pilfering. You're just a resource. You pay the bills. And she's not too concerned about you not being there, because clearly, if you're not there, the bills gonna get paid some kind of way anyway. Probably from her money that she's been saving, because you paying for everything.
Absolutely.
So when you look
Absolutely.
at it, that's the point I'm getting is like, there's no love there. She dead between the eyes, for him, or behind. What's the phrase is dead behind the eyes.
Yes.
Because she too quick to say, you can go. You can go. She too
Yeah.
comfortable saying that. And
Yeah.
he's so weak because you can see it in his face. He looked broken. Like,
Bro, you remember what I said? You heard what I said? His mannerisms
Yeah.
was like, well, he can go head down, kind of.
Head down. Right.
Kinda.
He's a defeated man. It's that, and we've seen two cases of this recently. We've seen it with Will Smith and we've seen it with DJ Envy of the Breakfast Club. Both of them men have been emasculated by their wives. Their heads is down. They don't know where to go. But in this case, Mike really don't know where to go because he went from his mama house to his gal house. And I agree with Miss Amici. You can't necessarily make that move like that.
Yeah. Let me get to these chats. Real quick. Where we at? Again, thank you, T-Mac, for the $10 super chat. I'm gonna go back to some of these comments. Miss Amici, Wanda agrees with you there. Lucis, you got T-Mac says he lost power in that household years ago. And that's what Lucis is talking about. He never really probably never established.
He
never had it. He never had it. Wanda says the hubby is of less value to the woman than the son. Ooh. T-Mac says facts at Miss Amici. T-Mac again says mad facts at Lucis. And then Wanda says she definitely said that he will leave.
Yeah, she did
before her son. Now, what you think about that, Lucis?
Yes,
Let me hear
she
what
did
you got.
say that.
Yeah,
and she said it with some vitriol. She said it in a way that you knew. And that's why I'm saying she does not love her husband. He was just a means to an end for her. She found a young buck that obviously liked her because we all know that, being a single mother out here on the market is hard. And you talking 20 years ago, it's never really not been that way for single mothers, because like the last time you really had single mothers not really having this problem in the dating market was the 70s, because by mid 80s and late 80s, things had changed, but I mean, we're talking about, the end of 99, early 2000s. I mean, come on. This, she found somebody that was going to accept her, who was clearly, I've said this before to my peer group, is that women raise men with weak spines. It's not intended, it's just what happens because it's not the natural nature of a man to keep his line of authority coming from a woman, because at some point a man has to be taught to lead his house, and he can't be taught to lead his house if at the end of the day his mama is always the one telling him what to do.
I saw something, Lucis. I was looking at one of those nature videos, right? And it was a bunch of deer. Mm-hmm. Now, a doe can raise her calf, and she can raise them, and it'll be an adult calf. But you need those bucks to be able to lock horns and have a little feistiness so it can learn how to be a buck. See what I'm saying? So
you got the thing is in nature plays that game, whether it's with deer, rams, you'll see that a lot with horned beasts. That is a part of the male cycle of learning. And if you don't have somebody head to kind of buckle, because you're supposed to be a knucklehead to your father, because your father's supposed to express some authority. And like you said, like if it's not your father, it's your coach or mentor or somebody.
Yeah.
And you said old head. Yeah, like an old head will pull you over and say something to you like, yo, what you doing? Or barbershop when you go to the bar. Like we had that. But what's right now with these millennials and Gen Z, they don't necessarily have that. And it's not that it's not available, because there's plenty old cats out here in the streets that can do that. But what happens is we have a lot of modern women who have taught their children, you don't got to listen to nobody but me. You don't have to listen to nobody. That's why we got kids in the school system doing the things they're doing to the teachers. You know, because what's the teacher's authority? I ain't got to listen to you. You're not my mama.
Right.
I mean, you got kids saying that to their whole daddy.
They say that exact phrase, Lucis. You not my mama. You aren't my mama. Like, what does it matter? That is another adult. Period. Right. End of story. That is an elder. Anyway.
Elder.
But you don't hear that.
We can say that for the Black community, we've kind of lost that elder voice. Like, you know, our communally, you know, maybe not everybody that's watching their children, but communally, you see that amongst our people is that, you know, our kids have a low grade of respect. And that was something that we've seen in the manosphere. I mean, every person in the manosphere is talking about that because it is a point of contention, because men have been out of the Black community household collectively for so long. And even though the statistics show that when a Black man is in a home, and when it comes to the father statistics, Black men kind of exceed in those statistics. The problem is that when you still got 8 out of 10 kids being raised by a single mother, it's tough. So, and I just wanted to kind of share that because I know a lot of people probably see that video and didn't watch it enough to see, because I watched it enough because I was I was a little, and I was enthralled because the first time I watched and the second time I watched it, I was actually in awe. Like, is this real? Is this real?
I thought it was a joke too.
Those videos that was for TikTok or IG, you know, just something like that.
No, I thought the same thing too. I thought that I was just going to use it as a teaching moment regardless, because it's a teaching moment. This is a real thing that happens. But what you just said, I was like, this can't be real.
Right.
So I didn't mean to do it. I didn't believe it.
But probably by the time I watched it about 7, 8, 9 times, I was like, wow, there's a lot to unpack here, because it's a lot of information that's given out in this video. And you know, to tell you the truth, what I found is funny is the mother uploaded it, but she blanked out her 29-year-old's face. But her husband's face on there. So everybody that knows who Michael is knows who this kid is. I mean, I keep wanting to say kid. He's not a kid. His mentality is, but he's not a kid. But that was the thing, was like, this is literally, you didn't help nobody, because anybody that knows who Mike is, they know who you are.
Right.
You know who Mr. 29-year-old, I ain't got to leave my mama house is too.
So let me get to this comment. So T-Mac says, I'll bet the mother prevented the boy from instilling true manhood into the boy. It happens a lot. Yeah. I'll say this, and I'll see what Lucis says about it. I think there's 2 parts to that, okay? The first part is, yes, modern women be like, you don't tell my son nothing, this ain't your kid, blah, blah, blah. We hear that a lot. Like, don't tell my son nothing, it ain't your kid, he got a daddy, this, that, and the third, right? Even though Michael has been there, or is that his name, Michael? Yeah, has been there for a while. The second part of that is, when I was dating my son's mom, before we had our son, and I was at their parents' house, and her sister was dating a dude that had kids. And those kids were running around the house. Now I'm sitting there, I'm the new boyfriend. I'm sitting there being quiet, and I couldn't take that shit no more. Excuse my French, y'all, but I couldn't take that shit. I was, hey, get your little ass over here. Come here. Don't look at them. You come here to me. Now, do you run around like that in your house? Sometimes. Well, you're not going to run around like that in here. You hear me? Go sit over there until y'all think about it. Matter of fact, I put their ass in the corner. Matter of fact, I had them, there's a little thing I used to do. I had them hold a notebook out until their hands got tight. Them wasn't even my kids. because it takes a village to, and I'm talking about the parents shut up, the boyfriend didn't say nothing, my girl, my ex now, but my girl at the time, I shut that whole house down because the way I just, boom. So part of that is on him, right? You be like, yo, I'd rather go move back in with my mom, 22 years old, whatever, loses. I'd rather go back and give my mom a chance than to stay with that woman who's not, like, I'm gonna watch this kid run around. Hell no. Let me tell you, I was a young dad. I was a dad at 20 and then I made 21. And I was a dad to stepkids at 21, right? That was older. So I didn't put up with that crap with them. And I sure wouldn't put up the crap if I was that dude, but he did. So it's both of them. Lucis, what you got to say on that one?
I agree with you. I'm gonna say this: the mother, the one thing that why I wouldn't in this situation, because we're talking about men, right? The onus is on Mike. He is literally 99% culpable in this situation because he's supposed to be the man. That's just point blank. Miss Amici said it best when she said it when she came on here. Women are looking for that provider. They're looking for the man with the backbone.
Yeah.
He came into it without one, but no part of him because we got you. This is the funny thing. You know, when you see something, that's just the surface. You know, you ever see those memes where they show you the glacier?
The ice.
This is what people see, but then there's so much underneath the water, right?
Yeah.
We got a chance to see that tip top.
10%. That's 10% of what's underneath.
We just saw a little bit, and the disrespect of that little bit. This is bigger than that underneath the water. We're talking about self-esteem issues. We're talking about, and when I say self-esteem, notice that he couldn't even directly. He's 40, mid-40s, and he's talking to a 29-year-old cat, and he can't even express himself with authority to that. He still was wavering on, well, I mean, you should know. You should know. Not that, and it's funny because I said when he said that.
Not that I taught you.
That's exactly what he was supposed to say. But he didn't. He didn't. At no point did that 29-year-old even flinch. And he was quick to be my mama, because like talking about that article, talking about the shield. Right, his mama is the shield. Yeah. And that's why that conversation shouldn't have never happened in front of him, first and foremost. Yeah. And the thing is that he'll never, because how you come into the relationship, I try to tell women this all the time, and it's a funny thing. How you come into the relationship is how you will be. If you're the type of woman you loose, you come into a relationship on your back, you can't come and stand up later and talk about respect me and treat me a certain kind of way. Nah. You came in here on your back. You came in here respectfully, you get respect. So it's one of those things. He came in kind of slinking in, and he came into her house. Then she saddled him with all the bills. And he played, he was like an extra child in there. He was just a child in the house paying bills with her. And we don't actually know how much older she is than him. We just know she's older because she clearly had a seven-year-old child. So even if she had him at 20, that means she was 27 when Michael was 22. So there's still a dynamic of we don't know how old Lucretia is, but she's old enough to know what she was doing.
Yeah. Let me get to these chats real quick. So hold up. I think I read that one. I'll bet the mother prevented the boy from instilling true manner to the boy. Yeah, we read that one. A lot of mothers don't understand the value of fathers raising boys to be men. That is true. Some don't. We see that a lot nowadays. Wanda says, Lucis is speaking all facts. We as women plant these bad seeds early on, which ruins the kids in the long run. We really mess these kids up, telling them not to listen to anybody but us. Us meaning the mothers, the women. And then she also adds, women even bad talk the kids' biological fathers in front of their own kids too, which is terrible, and tell them all kinds of stuff against them, which cause them to disrespect their own father. That's, oh, you already said it. That's exactly why they are detached from reality. So you're talking, Wanda just brings up a great bit of points, pretty much like an amalgamation of things that happen now that we see playing out in these young people today, in modern women, in these young men who have no backbone. And I've said this before on this channel. Women are raising the men that they turn down every day.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. They raise the men they don't want.
Yes.
They raise the men they don't want. And then they wonder why the next generation of women down are like, well, where are all the good guys? And you go, look, check your friend zone. There's a bunch of guys that like you in your friend zone. I don't want them. I don't like them.
Did you see there was a video that just came out recently. Oh, what channel was this on? I think it was Pink Book. What was it? Pink Book.
The video where the young man takes the girl out on this super fantastic date.
No.
And at the end of the day,
no. There's a more recent one where they're on this speed dating thing, and the young man was an engineer, right? He was
the nuclear physicist.
You seen that one?
Yes, the nuclear physicist.
Yes.
Yeah, the young lady basically called him a lame. He don't have personality. But it was funny because I watched it. I said, he got plenty of personality. He's a bright
She never asked him that. He's trying to, look, hold up. This is what I had a problem with. I heard all their talking points, but the problem I had with is dudes nowadays have women like, well, what you bring to the table? What, like their way of saying, what can you provide? Or where are you going? Right? Because a woman will mess with a dude that don't have nothing if his ambition is good and he's going in the right direction. However, in this case, this dude is putting out there, hey, and maybe he was a little square, nerdy, whatever, but the point is the dude was going in the right direction. And so this dude is trying to put out, hey, this is where my future is, this is where I'm headed, which should be important to women, right? Should be important to a woman. But he didn't have personality. And then when this panel of women that teach other women how to get men, how to respect men, how to understand men, when they were trying to give her pointers, hey man, you had resting bitch face and this, that, and the third, just be a little softer. Okay, you didn't like him, but you didn't have to put him down this way. He was trying to tell you, why didn't you just ask him the question, what does he like to do? She had every excuse in the world. MTR, sorry, shout out to MTR.
Yeah, MTR did.
He just did a reaction video, part 2 to that, and that is a good conversation. Make sure y'all go check out MTR's video on that. But let's bring it back to where we was at. We're talking about how you get these dudes who are bringing themselves down, who are being lame. This dude was out there, a physicist or something like that, and even that wasn't good enough. Let me get to this chat real quick, and he ain't lying. Okay, I hear you. All right, Lucy, what you got? You seen that, right? Or something like that?
My thing is this. Black women really have this disillusion of what was the term? Remember when Jay-Z was blowing up? Every woman wanted, he a corporate thug, a corporate thug, you know, and it was almost like, you know, this whole belief system that you can get this thuggish businessman.
They want a banker that's selling drugs on the side.
Right. They want the banker that's Tupac, you know, this whole belief that a thug is important. That's why they made a joke about her, like, you know, she was like, you know, like making the jokes about the whole who wants Russell Wilson when you can have a future, right? And the joke is that you can want future, but that equals no future. Because future don't eat, it doesn't add up to a future. But the thing is that That's the functional problem of our community is our women are looking for thugs. They're looking for, he ain't got enough swagger. He don't and the truth is, from my observations, what's really happening is our women, especially black women, want the guy that's in style, the who's on deck right now, and everybody wants him. The guy that she said he don't have personality. How do you know? Really, how do you know? Y'all didn't even discuss enough to really know if he has personality. What we do know is you looked at him, prejudged him on his nerdiness. I'm a super nerd. I'm a nerdy guy. I'm a Carlton. You know what I'm saying? But I can get down like, if we talking Will Smith character, Carton Quill, I'm a good blend of both. But I'm more Carlton than I am Will Smith from what's the dang show?
Fresh
Prince of Bel-Air. I would consider myself more nerdy than I am anything else. I'm smart enough to get along. I got common sense. I know how not to be in these streets because the streets are unforgiving. So, I know not to play in the streets. But I had grown men around me growing up. I had drug dealers that I was related to. I had men in my family go in and out of prison. I had an uncle that did time at Angola. You know what I'm saying? So I had men that was like, hey, this ain't for you. You don't want to be like this. So they did push me more to the books. These were guys that didn't give up the street. They was in the street, but they was like telling me, don't come this way. You don't want this life.
I had the same thing.
I'm not mad now as a grown man that, no, I'm not out here trying to chase swag so much. But this is the thing. As women, my advice is that you got to stop playing a game with the guy that there's no future with. These women know that. They always want to tame the wild beast. They're trying to tame a wild beast for what? For what purpose? Because
we got some of these young men trying to do the same thing too. I mean, leave them alone.
Because like people, when they was doing the videos about Sierra's prayer and everything, and it was all these women talking about they want Russell, they want a Russell Wilson. The thing that none of these women understand about the dynamic of Russell Wilson's relationship to Sierra was, one, Sierra is an entertainer. Russell Wilson, if Sierra wasn't who she was, he wouldn't have went for her. We all saw what Russell was dating before he got with Sierra. But there was a reason he went for Sierra. He was one of Sierra's biggest fans.
Yeah.
That's the difference. He didn't pick her off the street. He picked Sierra because she was who Sierra the entertainer was. Right. And so that's where that whole relationship comes from. He was able to get his dream girl, just like when what's the lady that the actress that just her and Tom Cruise got a kid, and she was like Tom Cruise's biggest fan, and then when she got with him, she was like, oh.
Hey, another dude that went after his dream was Jason Momoa. He went after
Lisa Bonet.
Yeah, he went after Lisa Bonet.
She played him. You saw how she played him? You see that?
Bruh.
She literally waited for a perfect opportunity, his second or third big major check, and then she's I just want to live by myself, knowing that she gonna get spousal support.
Bro,
that's but see, this is why when people talk about why men are not actively actively engaging in marriage or even trying to date like that, is because you have the Lisa Bonets out there. You have a woman who she literally look at Anthony Anderson going through it right now too.
They've been together for years.
She waited for the 10th year because we all know what the 10th year of marriage means.
Let them know.
For the 10th year, then she want to file for divorce.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's going on a lot. It's like, who else? Emmitt Smith, married to his wife, 22 years. Mm-hmm. Done. It's like, then why do it?
It's this.
Anyway, let me get these comments real quick, or this last one. So T-Mac says, "Do that personality. I bet Becky and Rosalinda snatched dude up already. As soon as he came off the podcast, they was, hey, I'll take you. I bet you. I agree with you, T-Mac. A lot of our women complain about busted brothers, always complain about busted brothers. They always prefer them. What you think about that, bro?
Well, I mean, let's understand this. Kevin Samuels exposed this for years. For at least 2 years, he exposed the fact that a lot of women was willing to procreate with Pookies and Ray Rays, whether married, not requiring marriage, not requiring a real decent relationship. They wasn't even requiring a man to be steady or stable. Because let's understand, that's why they all looking for a man that can provide and have all his money, because they can't get it from their baby daddies. But yet, instead of procreating with that guy, because they know that guy's a lesser guy. They know that guy is not, for the women that say, on my level. I mean, so why are you picking men that's not on your level? Why are you, because, the thing is that you're picking low-grade men, and then you complain about the low-grade guy, and then you come to the market and say, hey, somebody be my Prince Charming. No. I mean, the answer is no now, more than ever. The answer is being no in the last couple of years, because, it's becoming more and more prevalent that men are like, no thanks, don't want it.
Yeah.
I don't want the problem. But I look at it like, when you seeing all the finessing that's going on, and then you're seeing the child support issue, like the dude that just got out of jail, he served 5 years for not paying child support for a kid that's not his. That's kind of hard,
Well, and that statistic, right? That statistic where you got 10 to 20% of kids or men that think that their kids are theirs, it isn't. Like 20% of dudes are raising kids that aren't theirs.
The number is closer to 30%.
30. It's 10 to 30, something like that.
Yeah, that's a big number. And you see that, I mean, did you see that? I mean, because recently there was a millionaire who found out all 3 of his kids are
his. I saw that. Yo.
I mean, if we're really talking about trying to have better relationships and try to help, there's so much information out there that's not helping.
Hey, that millionaire had cystic fibrosis, okay? And which means that he was not physically able to have children, right? And she knew that whole time that those kids wasn't his. So when he went into the hospital with his cystic fibrosis, they said, well, sir, there's no way you could have had these kids.
Right.
And it's funny, a couple of the kids won't even talk to him because he took her to court. Because he said that, listen, she knew that these wasn't my kid, yet she did not inform me, so she should be held accountable. And the kids running behind the mom is mad that this dad tried to hold this woman accountable, right? Yeah. He has a new wife and stuff like that. Oh my God, bro. That broke my heart. Let me read this comment real quick. T-Mac says most of these women know Future got 11 kids and would still give him a 12. Yeah, T-Mac, is because they know that, or they think Future got money to give to them. So instead of having a father around to help raise that kid, they would just rather have the paycheck in Future. So, and then T-Mac says 30% in America and 70% in Jamaica. What the hell? Did you know about that stat, Lucis?
I did not.
70% of men.
But look. Jamaica is rough, man. Jamaica is rough. Come on. There's a reason Hedonism 1 and Hedonism 2 is located there. It's a rough place, man. That is a rough place for romance. I mean, why do you think so many Jamaicans try to, get here? And it probably has a lot to do. I mean, there's only so much you can do on an island. It's like, it's close quarters. You're on an island. It's a densely populated island at that. So, yeah, I could see that easily being the situation.
Now, Wanda says that woman, that wife of the guy the millionaire that had cystic fibrosis, she should absolutely be held accountable. Listen, things happen, mistakes happen, but God damn, man, you could have told that dude years ago that was not his kids. And you never know. He might have stayed around for it, but you lied.
I think that's the roughest thing. I think that's the roughest thing in all of this is the damage to the children. This is why I'm not empathetic to a lot of the stuff that's happening with these modern women that are doing certain things because they're hurting the children. Oh, I could believe that. I could believe that. There's a lot of tourists. Yeah. I mean, you know, was kind of piggybacking this comment from T-Mac is that's why when you go to the Philippines and Cambodia and Laos, there's some of us over there, you know. Yep.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. So look, I'm gonna bring up the question today real quick, and then we'll break this thing down. And then let me know what your thoughts on the question today. Where is that at? Here it is. All right, gents. Question of the day. Are parents expecting too much from young people today or not enough? Is social media and technology to blame for the behaviors of young men and women or bad parenting? Or both? I didn't put that on there. So before we start breaking this down, I get to the final breakdown. Let me know what you think about that, Lucius, about that question.
Yeah. So the first question.
First part of it, yeah.
I believe parents aren't putting enough into their kids because what we have a lot of parents that we're living in a individualistic, selfish period of time right now. So they're not a lot of Miss Amichis out there that you talk about her being a very responsible. There ain't a lot of them out there right now by the population of kids you see that are dreamers. I say that, you know, a lot of the kids today or anybody in between, you know, 5 and 30 right now, they're more dreamers than they are anything else. And they want everything to be easy street, like you alluded to earlier. Want a lot of easy street. The thing about social media being to blame or bad parenting, there she go. I agree with her right there. It's poor parenting because your kid can have all the distractions in the world, but if you haven't taught your kid how to be disciplined, you know, get your homework done, clean up your bedroom, hey, clean up the common areas, wash the dishes. Right. You know, if you haven't taught your kid, or not even just taught your kid, but if you haven't brought your kid into being into sports or social activities, I'm a big proponent of sports. The reason I'm a big proponent of sports is because sports teach your kid to be on the team. And when I say sports, I'm not talking about everybody get a trophy sports. I'm talking about sports where your kid has to be an active participant of the team. That you learn something when you know that you're not the best player, or you are the best player on your team. Or you just one of the good players, or you the guy that comes off the bench. There's something that you learn as being part of a team. You start understanding that everybody's important. You know, it's not Kobe and MJ or LeBron, for, you know, where you just think it's one person. When the truth is, if you ever watch team sports, it's never one person. You know, every piece is needed. And so, you know, that's why I'm a big proponent of that. But what we have today is we don't have a lot of that type of participation. What we have is parents really being bad parents in which they let social media, video games be the babysitter. And in some cases, not only be the babysitter, they're the tutor, they're the teacher, they're your kid's friend. Because think about how many kids have friends they never met in person ever, never seen them, don't even know. They know their voice through the game, but they don't know nothing about that. Well, that's not really a friend, like because you're not learning the social skills of somebody talking to you, being in your space, and things like that. Just like you said when you told them kids, hey, get it together.
Yeah.
That's something that happens from a social cue. They took a social cue of you saying something, then they looked around and nobody said anything. And when you spoke, they were like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, don't look at them.
We gotta listen to him.
Yeah.
That's how that happens. It's a social cue.
Right.
If you don't teach that.
I'm gonna cut you off real quick because that did not happen in Michael's home and Lucretia's home, because if she had said, don't look at me, go listen to him.
Right.
That kid, I'm saying it's both of them. Let me be clear to y'all about one thing. The video I played earlier, both parents were at fault. However, if she had looked at her son and be like, don't look at me, what did that man tell you? There would be a different level of reverence there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so,
right.
But I'm sorry, yeah. And what about the last part? Oh, you already said all that.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get back to the chat and see what's going on. But man, I click so much stuff. So Wanda says not enough. Talking about not enough parenting.
Mm-hmm.
T-Mac says parents are expecting the wrong things from kids. Wanda says poor parenting or lack thereof, which you already acknowledged there too. Definitely that, right? I think we beat that with a dead horse. And then T-Mac says parents are too selfish to even be invested in their kids who didn't ask to be here in the first. Ugh, man, damn, T-Mac came off the top.
Wow, okay.
I want to say one last thing about the sports thing. You brought up about all the things it teaches you, man. And listen, if you are a young parent and you're watching this, the best thing you can do is what Lucy said. I remember I was on a flag football team. I had played a little baseball, but I was trying to get my start in football. I was too late. I was too big to make the team, which was weird. I was a skinny kid, but I weighed 10 pounds more than I could to play football. You'd be like 120 at 12, and I think I was like 130, and I was tall, right? So I went to the flag football team. Make a long story short, I went out there thinking I was going to play. Coach never put me in. I remember crying that day, and my mom looked at me and said, first of all, don't cry about that. She said, you're good. You keep practicing hard, and you're going to be great. And so what I took from there, and my stepdad was there too, because he also, I don't know what he told me, but enough was what I got from him where I was like, you know what? Okay, boom. So then I went back to baseball. I practiced really hard. So I made baseball team. That same coach that was on the flag football team went against me. And I had played like every position on my team, but I was the pitcher. And I struck out all of his people, right? And that's just one story. I played baseball for 5 years, organized. And so I went from being the least person on the team to I went to whatever position was the weakest that week and we needed work on. Mm-hmm. So, and I can tell you about my basketball time and stuff like that, my wrestling time, right? So I learned so much about being team sports that it helped me when I got into the military, which is the ultimate team sport.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, ultimate team sport. You have anything that you want to say before I get up out of here?
I appreciate you letting me jump on the stream, man. I appreciate sometimes what it is that I be wanting to let you make it, but I don't be wanting to type, just be blowing up your chat. So I was like, it probably easier for me.
Hey, chats is good, bro.
That's really the thing. I just jumped on because I said whatever I had to say was going to be too long to type, and I know I didn't want to distract. I didn't want to distract the other viewers, with all the.
Nah, man. Listen, all that's engagement. So the algorithm counts all engagement. But here's the thing: I like having you on, and I liked when Jerome was on. I liked having everybody on because I want it to be interactive. I want us to actually talk about it. If you guys want to come on the show, you're gonna be respectful and talk about stuff, then you are free to come on here. But again, you gotta be respectful, you gotta watch your language, stuff like that. Okay. And then because we do want to make sure that this can get out to people, we want to make sure that we can grow the channel. But I love the engagement, and I want to be more of this. Something else that I'm going to start doing in the future is I am in a new place. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to start putting out those travel videos. But what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to do the live streams, and I'm going to do them on the go. So it's going to be a little rough. So y'all got to bear with me. But I'm going to take y'all out and show y'all the streets while I'm out, and we can have live chat conversations with me getting live streams out and about in this community. I think y'all gonna love that, and I think it'll be a different level. Once I start getting a little more comfortable, start doing some street interviews on the lives, and you know, like I said, I got a lot planned. I heard everything you guys said. I heard everything that you guys put an input on, and so tonight was a different type of topic, but it still has to do with self-improvement. Still has to be about being our best self. It still has to be about our purpose and living our best life. Let me jump in here real quick. Hey Lee, what's going on? How you doing tonight? Thank you for being on here, and thank you for being a part of this. I appreciate you very much for being here. Okay, and then Lucy says, looking forward to the out and about live streams. Yep. So I did the one for my birthday, but I want to show y'all this place. Again, I got one more Cancun video to put out. And then after that Cancun video, you're going to start seeing more videos. You already see the background of the apartment. I'll give y'all a quick apartment tour, show y'all about going to the gym, take y'all out with me when I'm going to the 5th Street, walking 5th Street, how you can see the daily living with the shops and how you can see more people out and about. So I think you guys are going to really appreciate this place when I actually get to doing Playa del Carmen. That's why I'm at Playa del Carmen now. Okay, so all right, thank you, brother, for being here. I'm gonna go do my final breakdown, and then we're gonna jump up out of here. All right.
Appreciate you.
So appreciate you, brother. Thank you. All right. So listen. So listen, we talked about a lot tonight, and I want to thank my guest, Lucis. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Before you guys leave, I'm going to shout out everybody that came in the chat. It's customary of the channel for me to give thanks to everybody that's here. But I want to talk to the young people tonight, okay? So young people, let me tell you something, all right? I get it. If you're a young person watching this, you may feel, why should I listen to a parent if I don't respect it? Or I know more than them, or they can't teach me anything. And I'm gonna tell you right now, to me, when I hear that, I always think of that as being very foolish and immature way to think, because life is one big lesson. And as I stated before, life will give you the test before you actually get the lesson. So to me, it's immature to think in this way because, again, like I said, the wise person can learn from the village idiot. Having respect for your elders is not a bad thing, right? And so, again, that's why we come on this channel all the time. We talk about self-improvement. We talk about being your best self. And one of the things I think some of you guys need to do is start getting rid of the toxic people out of your life, because they're going to hold you back, right? Being on your purpose is being in a boat. Sorry, when you're not on your purpose, it's like being in a boat and being carried off by any strong wind, right? When you're on your purpose, you can stand the hardest things in life. But when you're off your purpose, every time something comes in your life, every time something happens, you're just gonna fold under pressure. So I want for you young people to take what we talked about tonight, and I want you to learn from it. Respecting your elders is not a bad thing. If you're a parent right now and you're struggling with your kid, then I'm gonna give you one thing. Go watch Miss Amici's channel. Go watch Wanda's channel and she talks about daily living. She's going to show you on her channel, you're going to see her set out an agenda for her boys, how they are organized, how she keeps them organized. Yes. Does it take a little extra work? Absolutely. But the dividends that those boys are going to reap and being good men, being a little bit more prepared, it's going to be ripple effects. And they're going to, in turn, teach their sons and their daughters to be better. Because that's what people do. They teach the way they were taught. And so we talked a lot about accountability on the parents. We talked tonight about parents just don't understand. And maybe you don't understand your child nowadays. And if you are a young person and you don't understand your parents, that's going to happen. That's a normal part of being a parent. That's a normal part of being a kid. Man, my mom don't understand. My parent, my child don't understand it. Every generation goes through this. But I'm starting to think that the difference between this generation and past generations is that we had to listen. And this generation today don't think they have to listen. And technically you don't. But you are the one that's going to miss out. You are the ones that are going to look back one day and suffer. Parents, stop trying to be your kids' friends. Stop trying to be friends with your kids. Your job ain't to be friends with your children. Your job is to be a parent. I'm not here to be friends with my kids. I love my kids. We can have a good time. But at the end of the day, I'm not your friend. My job is to leave a legacy behind with you that you can be a responsible adult and be just a little bit better than me, so that you can go and teach your kids to be just a little bit better than you. Each one, reach one. We have to get back to it takes a village to raise a child. Because if we don't, this next generation after this one, they're lost. As was stated tonight by my guest, everybody's on individualism. Everybody's about themselves. And let me tell you, when you look at a team that's all about themselves, look at the worst football teams in the league right now. Those are the ones, or basketball teams. The worst teams are the ones that are about self. It's about that almighty dollar and that paycheck. You see it all the time. The best teams are the ones that look out for each other, that are willing to work a little bit harder, that are willing to stay after, that sees team before self. And the same thing has to happen in everybody's household and with each other. So at the end of the day, I can tell you all this, but you all got to go put that into practice. And I say all this to you guys so that you can get the best out of your life and live your best life. All right, I'm going to the chat. I'm going to say thank you to all my guests tonight. Neil, what's happening, bro? Thank you, man. You missed a great live stream tonight, man. We was on it. We was about it tonight. But make sure you go check out Neil talking about the gig economy and so much more. Check out his channel, T-Mac. First of all, let me, I'm going to get back to you, T-Mac, because you left a super chat tonight. Thank you for that. Brick Girls Go Stateside. Thank you, Lucy, for being here. Make sure you go check out her channel. Thank you to my guest, Lee, for being here. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you to Wanda for being here again. I gave reference. Make sure you go check out her channel. If you want to see about taking care of boys, her and her husband love those boys and take care of those boys, and you need a role model to look at on how to parent, go check out our channel, okay? So I appreciate you guys. Man, you guys ran that chat tonight. Again, shout out to my boy T-Mac for the $10 super chat tonight. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you to John from Ham's Flight Kitbox. Make sure you go check out his channel as well. I know you're going to love it. I'm going to get back to Lucis here in a second. Shout out to my boy, Tori Shepard, for stopping in. Who Dat fam? So I thank you for being here, man, for supporting another one of your Louisiana boys. I appreciate you. That's what's happening. We got Lucis with the $5 super chat, and he was my guest tonight. Thank you very much, Lucis. I appreciate you for being on here tonight, brother. And then we got my boy Jock Wilkins. Make sure you go check out his channel. You're gonna love it. If you like me going out and all this stuff like that, then for sure you're gonna love Jock's channel. He's all a lot of his videos are in Tijuana, Mexico. You got Rosarita and all that stuff like that. And he got the lit interviews. I'm actually doing a video that I'm gonna take a clip from Jock's video, so you're gonna want to check that out because there's some young ladies that say some stuff that I want you guys to hear. And make sure you check out his website, Young and Grown, as well. And that is it for that. Also, again, I want to thank Surfshark for being a affiliate that allowed me to be affiliate of them. So if you go to Surfshark, there's a link down in the description. If you go ahead and you need a VPN, the best VPN on the market, go to Surfshark, where if you use the code GENT, G-E-N-T, you'll get 83% off your subscription, and you'll get 3 additional months for free. So thank you, Surfshark. And I want to thank all you guys for being here tonight. Thank you guys for being with me. And as always, with that being said, live your best life.